Hey guys, so today I thought I'd do a quick video on how I clean and maintain my chain on my motorbike. I do a lot of touring, I do loads of miles on the bike, so chain maintenance is very important from a safety aspect, along with saving you money as well. So if you neglect your chain, let it gunk up, let it get rusty or dry, that can lead to, your chain and sprocket as well wearing out a lot quicker, which means basically you have to fork out more cash from the wallet and get a new one sooner. I'm going to do a quick show of how I do it in a very simple form, so you can do this chain maintenance whether you're out and about touring, whether you're on the road, the side of the road, you can do it anywhere really. It's a very simple way of doing it, but it's effective and it keeps your chain really quality and it will prolong the life of your chain as well. Don't have any fancy paddock stands. I don't have a center stand on this bike, the Speedmaster. So yeah, it's all done without lifting the bike up with the center stand and without a paddock stand or any sort of stand to help you lift the rear wheel up. It's a bare bones, out and about whilst you're on tour, on an adventure, motorbike adventure, how you can keep your chain nice and clean. Right, so to keep it simple when you're out and about, I've got a trusty M&S bag here, but any bag, shopping bag, Tesco's, wherever you go. You want it sort of waterproof-ish, so you want a sort of plastic preferably, because there's a bit of grease and greasy rags in here that you don't really want getting on the inside of your panniers or your backpack, wherever you keep it. So what I carry with me, all you need, there's a little bit of equipment you need and products, but not too much, and it's perfectly, if you've got panniers, I find it fine to bring these with you if you're on a long tour. Now if it's a short tour and you're going just for a day's ride or 2 days ride, you really shouldn't need to maintain your chain in that time period. But if you're going for a longer tour, for instance, like I went through the Alps and do sort of around 1,000 miles, you will really want to be maintaining the chain whilst you're going along on the tour. What we have, first off, I use this chain cleaner. It's a Muck Off, great brand, motorcycle brand. It's simple, they just do a chain cleaner. It's compatible with your O-rings, which are in the chain, which you don't want to degrade, so it's very good to buy a product that is compatible with those and is not going to harm those. And then next up, for lubing the chain, keeping it nice and sort of, well, lubed, and so there's no friction on the metal and it keeps those O-rings in good condition. As it's winter coming up, I like to use all-weather chain lube from Muck Off. Really good. There's loads of other brands that do it. It's not just Muck Off, I just personally use this and it's never done me any wrong. If you are in the summer or you live in a climate where conditions are drier, you don't get as much rain or harsh weather, a dry lube is actually probably better than a sort of gluky all-weather lube, because what happens is you do get some dust and debris does get attracted by this. Although it is very good for in harsh conditions, it does attract debris. Okay, last but very much not least, I use a, now these are really good, if you can see that. It's basically it's just a brush, just a simple brush, nice hard bristles on it, but these three sides fit perfectly around motorbike chains. So you can just pop it on the chain and it gets all of the grime and gunk off of the chain, so that's ideal. And then just some rags, some old t-shirts that you've thrown away, you can rip up, or if you've got old microfiber cloths or an old towel, anything like that, to rub over the chain and get all of the gunk off. Cool, so let's get into it. As I say, it's simple this, you can just do it out on the road, straight around. First up, grab your chain cleaner, whatever brand you happen to have. What we're going to do, we're just going to give the chain a nice spray all the way over the chain, all on your sprocket. Obviously be careful not to spray it all over your tyres, because tyres, not very good to get products like this on your tyres, but it's not the end of the world. Get it all on the chain and sprocket, and then we're going to let it just sink in a little bit, get into all those small cracks, leave it for a few minutes, and then I'm going to give it a brush with this all the way around on the chain to work off all of that muck. Okay, so one problem you can see, because I don't have a centre stand or a paddock stand to lift the rear wheel off of the ground, which means you can turn the chain so you can get all parts of the chain, obviously. What I do if you're out on the road, quite simple, you just push the bike back and forward so the chain moves around, and then you've got a fresh part of the chain you can spray your cleaner on. The same with the lubing as well. It's not ideal, but it's, you know, you don't need all of the extra things. So I just wheeled the bike forward a few feet, got a nice, well, not nice, but a dirty bit of chain. Continue spraying the cleaner on here. Okay, so I've moved the bike back and forward a couple of times, not the end of the world. Sprayed the whole chain and sprocket quite liberally. Left it for a minute or so, it's not the end of the world, a minute or two, or you just go straight into it. We're going to get the chain brush now, give it a good scrubbing all the way over. Again, move it back and forward, get all of that muck off. Now it's going to end up looking like this. If your chain's dirty, it's going to look very black. So you want to get onto it now with the rags, just give it a good wipe over and get all of the dirt off. So that's just a wipe over with the white rag after the chain brush. Looking pretty clean there. Move up to a bit I haven't done. There. You see how well that works. Massive difference. There's the clean bit, the bit I haven't done yet. Yeah, so nearly there. It's going to push the bike forward. You can see that dirt come off of the chain. It definitely needed to clean my chain. Just got back from Dartmoor, so yeah, it's pretty dirty. I'm going to get another rag out and keep going. It's coming up really nicely though. Awesome. I'm really pleased with that. That's the ragging done, wiped off with the rag. It's come up really nicely. And I actually think now is a really good chance to, with all this chain cleaner on it, to really get into the sprocket, clean your sprocket off really well, and also the front drive here. All of that gunk that just builds up from the chain and the dirt. Just a good time now that chain cleaner's in there, just to get a rag in there and get out all of that bulk and all of the major bits of dirt. Cool, so that's looking pretty awesome now. Really clean, hasn't taken long at all. I've gone over it really thoroughly with a cloth. Took about 2 cloths. A lot of dirt came off, but you want to get all of that chain cleaner off really, so just go over it very thoroughly with your cloths. Now next stage, get your all-weather lube. If you're in winter, summer, you might want a dry one. And then you don't want to put too much, trick to this is you don't want to put too much lube. I just do a nice covering all over the chain and a little bit on the sprocket. Don't go overboard because that'll attract more dirt and you'll just get gluky muck flying everywhere. Cool, so I've gone over the whole chain with the lube. Make sure you don't miss any bits. Check where the lube's gone. If it's dry, then just get a little bit of lube on it. Now, one thing to consider is doing it like this out on the road or whilst you're on tour or in a campsite or wherever. Sometimes if I'm doing it at home, I like to have a piece of cardboard or paper, newspaper behind the chain to stop any lube or product going onto the tyre or the bike. So when doing this, bear in mind not to get any lube or chain cleaner onto the tyre. Now you probably will get a little bit on there. I've got a bit on there now. Just be very mindful of it when you go back out on the road. Before you do go back out on the road, grab that spare, that third cloth, clean cloth, thoroughly wipe your tyre and any of the excess lube that's on the wheel or your exhaust, for instance, just give it a wipe off. Preferably at home, I'd like to give the bike a bit of a clean with soapy water, but out on the road sometimes it's tricky to get that water, so literally I just get a clean cloth and just wipe it off before it dries, and it comes off very well in my experience. Cool, and voila, chain done. Got a spanking clean chain, freshly lubed, ready to go another 500 miles, depending on conditions. Yeah, that's how it's done out on the road. You can do that in anywhere, basically. You don't need any paddock stands or centre stands to lift the bike. You do it in a car park. I'm in a car park now in Richmond Park in London, so yeah, I thought I'd try and do like a wilderness, a real world scenario. Bike's great, all done. You will get a bit mucky, which, to be honest, I don't mind at all. If you're travelling around on the bike, you get a little bit of dirt on your hands. I mean, it really doesn't bother me. If you want to be really clean and put gloves on and get nothing dirty, blah-de-blah, you can do that in your garage at home, but it's going to take more time. This, I could just pull over and do this 10 minutes and then jump back on the bike and hit the road again. Gives you more time on the road. Anyway, hope you like that, guys. Hope it was really helpful and you got some useful tips from that. Please don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy that. Yeah, like I say, you can use any other products, doesn't have to be muck off, but I'll chuck the muck off products down in the description. Till next time, thank you for watching. This is Red Ang Revival. Peace out.